Hi, this is Naveen Nanjundappa. I welcome you to an introduction for my Certified Scrum Product Owner training. A lot of students are interested in understanding what are the course content, how am I going to present these topics, what are the activities that we do, depth at which we learn the product ownership, and a lot more details about the program. Very few people are interested in understanding what is the discount, what is the fee as a primary focus. This particular video is specifically dedicated for those students who are interested in understanding the content before the pricing. There are people who are willing to pay the fees when the content matches their expectation. I'm hoping that this particular video will answer all the queries that you had with respect to the content of a Certified Scrum Product Owner training. Let me take you through and walk you through the content of the Certified Scrum Product Owner. I strongly believe in active learning methods. I want to ensure that every participant is engaged, involved, and also keep learning irrespective of their experience level. A person who is getting started with product ownership as well as an experienced product owner both require to get more insights as they experience my Certified Scrum Product Owner training. So I involve activities with respect to the group discussions, practice sessions, and also some of the demonstrations so that people can learn by looking at things. Being in active learning methods throughout the session, I encourage participants to engage themselves in the conversation, questioning, thinking deeper, as well as reflecting on their own thought process. It not just keeps the people active, but also effective in learning. We start with understanding the product ownership. In this section of the training, I introduce the concept of product ownership in Scrum, product management as a whole industry, and then activities that relate to the product ownership. A lot of students walk in with a confusion and an open-ended question, which is, what is the difference between product owner and product manager? Product owner, product manager, and business analyst. And people struggle in getting a job or a position because they are bound by their previous assumptions, myths, with respect to the responsibilities and titles. In this section of the training, I break all those myths, get a clarity on the role, responsibility, the designations within the organization, how the organization structure these product ownership. What does Scrum talk about and how the organizations are aligning themselves with these responsibilities? The sources of confusions, conflict, and the clarifications around it. After this training, the people walk out with a lot of confidence with respect to their own position. Especially when people are changing their jobs, this particular section helps them a lot in defining their own activities. After this, we move on to the product management. I introduce a product management as a foundation for product ownership. So in this particular training, we talk a lot about product ownership, right from the market research, strategic thinking, we go ahead, create roadmaps, the development activities, and then the releases, the launching of the product. All these are essential part of a product ownership. And I introduce various different activities that we do in product ownership, product management, and how they connect. People walk out with more clarity in product management as well. Especially for those people who are first timers into product management responsibility, find this section of the training very useful because they get a holistic view of where their position is. Then we get into the qualities and skill set of the people who want to be an effective product owner. Have you noticed many people get rejected in the interview? The sole reason for the rejection is because they have a gap in the qualities and the skill set that are required for being an effective product owner. In this section, we do an exercise wherein we reflect on the qualities that we bring in and the qualities of an effective product owner, why they are important, how is it connecting, how can you improve those qualities. And this is a turning point. A lot of people have a strong reflection on their self qualities and then they go ahead thinking about what are the improvements they need to make after the training is completed. We talk about the aspects of product discovery. Every product that we design should be viable, feasible, and desirable. If we can find a sweet spot where the product has all these aspects, then it is going to be much closer to the success. We discuss about how a product discovery steps takes place, what are the aspects around it, and we look at some of the examples. As we move forward, we do the market research. We pick up a product idea, a problem from the market, and then we do a market research. In order to conduct the market research and understand the problem, during the training, we take up a specific product example and experiment with some of the techniques for market research. We learn about different techniques in the market research, apply and perform a market research during the class. I also demonstrate how a market research takes place. By the demonstration, people try to correct what are their mistakes and a new thought process around how to effectively conduct a market research and the results of these market research. A lot of people have given me a feedback that this session was very interesting for them. Then we move on to understanding the user, segmenting the user. In this section, we go ahead talk about empathy maps, persona, how users are connected with the tools and techniques of representing them. So why should we create an empathy map? How do we create an empathy map? How is this useful for the team as well as the product owner for communication? From here, we go ahead with customer-centric product design, user-centric designs, the design thinking aspect, so that every requirement that we create is associated with the pain point or a problem that a customer is facing. And we always focus on customer-centric solutioning, which means the value that we are trying to deliver with respect to the product is always recognized, well known. And that's also an aspect of product discovery. Then we move on to the product vision creation. We take up a small idea, we do the market research, we understand the users, we come up with a high level requirement, and then we create a product vision as to why and what this product is all about. Here we learn a lot of techniques for creating a product vision. What are the do and don'ts? How do you communicate? And a sample examples of a product vision. A lot of times people have responded saying that they have not seen their product vision. And in this section, we take up some examples that will enable them to understand the importance of the product vision and associate it with the product goal that the team is going to create and work on. Then we move on to activities related to the product roadmap. In this section of the training, we understand what is a roadmap, how to create it, what are the thought process behind it, and as a product owner, what kind of roadmaps would be more suitable, when, how. This is a very interesting section because in most of the trainings, when you are asked a participant, can you write a roadmap for a specific product? A lot of people struggle. A majority struggle. The question is, where do I get started? And you get an answer for that in this section of the training. The product roadmap has a lot of insights. Not just the group discussion and a practice session, I also demonstrate a roadmap. That way, every participant can learn, correlate to what is required. Then we move on to the release strategy. Release strategy is a big topic and is the most essential part of understanding how you commit and how you deliver value to your customers. In this section, we talk about various different strategies, purpose behind it, the mindset around it, and how this connects to the commitment across the stakeholders and team members. Release strategy being a big topic, we talk about an example, we talk about demonstration and the practice creating a release strategy. And not just that, we also introduce some critical situations that needs to be handled without hampering the release goal. So we look at the demonstrations of how our participants can overcome their challenges without hampering or compromising on the release goal. During this section, participants come up with a lot of questions related to their commitments, activities, and then the situations that demands their decision making. This being a very interesting section of the training, many participants found this useful and deep insight. Then we move on to the next section, which is measuring success. We talk about the output and outcomes during this section, wherein participants understand it is not just the functionality that we develop, we have to go ahead and measure it as well, various different measurement criteria. How do we measure? What do we measure? Why do we measure? We talk about it a lot. After this, we go ahead with the prioritization technique. There are a lot of myths around prioritization, and many times people don't even understand the background behind why we prioritize, what is the purpose behind it. Exactly like why we estimate and what is the purpose behind estimation. There's a lot of myths around prioritization and confusions in decision making with prioritization. People think prioritization is just picking one item over the other, but there's a lot of thought process behind it. We talk in depth about prioritization. We also pick up the Moscow technique that is popular, well-known, and widely used. We take this particular technique and go through the step-by-step of prioritization, decision-making, and applying it to release strategies as well as the sprint goals. A lot of myths are busted during this section, wherein the prioritization technique and the goals are connected to each other. Once we do this, we get on to the product backlog creation. In the section of a product backlog, we go ahead and talk about the sources of the product backlog items, that's the requirements, the techniques that we use for gathering the requirements. Then we go ahead, create the product backlog items in terms of user stories, writing the user stories, breaking it down, creating the acceptance criteria for these user stories. What does it mean? What is the myths around it? We bust those myths as well. And a lot of people come up with clarity on user story writing. Then we do the management of a product backlog refinement, and the contributions of a product owner in managing the product backlog. While we do all these things with the various different activities and discussions, we move on to the hands-on practices across. Every topic that we are going to introduce in this particular training has a hands-on practice session. As we go ahead with the group discussions, we are also practicing. A strong recommendation is to continue these practices, apply these practices into your office-related work. While you practice, you get more clarifications on the topic and your expertise improves. You're getting closer to being an effective product owner. The CSPO training experience is more like watching a suspense thriller movie. Yes, it is like a suspense thriller movie. It keeps you active and at the edge of the seat. I'm glad to say that all the students who have been in my class have found this particular training very engaging, involved, and also thought-provoking. The class is filled with aha moments, shocking moments, a lot of self-reflections on what am I doing, where am I, what am I learning. It challenges your thinking process. It clarifies the concepts. And not just that, it boosts the confidence that you have on product management as you complete each section of the product ownership. I'm glad to see all these things happening in the class and the participants being more energetic as time progresses into the training. As we come closer to the end of the second day of the training, many students build up their energy level and they are fresh and ready for yet another session. At the end, I also provide some of the tips for the career growth and interview preparation. I understand these are very important for the audience because they're looking into the product management career as well as attending an interview. Not just that, we just go ahead with 8+ hours of additional videos on Scrum, Agility, and other aspects that are related to the Scrum framework. I also share a handbook that is for product owners. This is beyond the scope of the certification program. It helps you in understanding a broader picture of product ownership, advanced content, and then get deeper into the subject itself. Many students have described that these handbooks have been very helpful for their interview preparations. You can connect with me before or after the training for any clarifications or any questions that you have. I don't believe that you have to ask me questions only during the training. A lot of students ask me questions, clarifications even after the training is completed, and I'm available for those students as always. Apart from this, I can only make a promise, and that is after this training, you will fall in love with product management. Yes, that's my promise. Making you fall in love with product management with all the activities and give you that passion for developing product is the ultimate goal of this particular program, not just being a certification focus. In order to achieve this, here are my credentials. I'm a certified Scrum trainer from Scrum Alliance. It's been 11 years that I've been serving people and trained over 15,000 students across the domain, across the industry. I'm also an IC Agile product management instructor. I'm a certified product manager from AIPMM. Apart from this, a lot of students have been consistently rating me on a scale of 1 to 5, at a very top level. The average has been around 4.94 out of 5 stars on Google, Trustpilot, and other platforms. If you visit my LinkedIn, you will see a lot of recommendations and wishes that participants have posted after their training completion. I'm also a speaker at conferences. I love to share my learning with my fellow members in the field of product ownership, agility, Scrum mastery. Apart from this, I'm also a recognized contributor in the field of astronomy as a public outreach and astronomy education. My mother tongue is Kannada. I'm from Bangalore City, India, Karnataka state. There are a lot of Kannada news channels, the local news channels. I'm one of the preferred panelists for any kind of space discussion, astronomy related topics discussion. And I've been frequently visiting the news channels for sharing my experiences as well. That's about me. If you think that this was helpful for you to understand what are the topics that are covered, how it has been effectively covered, you can go ahead, register for this particular program, looking at the schedule, the Certified Scrum Product Owner Training and Certification Program. At the end of the training program, every one of the participants who successfully completed gets certified. There is a fees associated with it for registration. You can contact me on this particular details for registration, and I'm happy to help you out. I'm looking forward to meeting you during the training, and we have a collaborative learning experience. Thank you so much. I hope this information was useful for you. This is Naveen Nanjundappa signing off. See you during the session. Thank you.